Welcome back to Showmance, the #1 show on YouTube doing deep dives on shows with no depth. And tonight we are covering In the City, episode 8. This is part 2. We left off at Whitney and Lexi having this talk in their bedroom about how Whitney was saying, just said it would have been such a low lift to give Yvonne and Nick the bedroom. And furthermore, Lindsay's always using the single mom card. And I just would like to go on record saying that's a real hard line to pull off. Even when you're right, you could offend so many people saying something like that. And I don't know if Whitney's right. I think Whitney's just sensitive towards Lindsay because Lindsay came for her relationship. And now she's trying to string a theory together because even Lexi, you can see it written all over her face. She is not with her on this. And those two girls, I think, were at least forging some kind of a friendship. And Lexi was like, no, she never does that with me.
Kenny probably comes home and talks about oh, that bitch Lindsay, and she's trying to do this and I'm not going to let her get away with that. And I told her, you heard me say that thing to her, right? Cause I just think that Kenny is very competitive with Lindsay. And so I feel like Whitney's oh, I'll do my part in this too. And I'm going to push back at this. She made a choice. It wasn't well thought out. It didn't have any strategy in it. All you got to do is watch the show a few times to see what you're about to get yourself involved with. And also understand just the politics of a show. Like we were just saying how Lindsay really, I think that it could have been more than just Lindsay wants this room because, she doesn't want to spoon Yvonne, or not Yvonne, Georgina in a twin bed or a queen size full bed or whatever. Which I get that too. It wasn't just about the mom thing. It was also this isn't my girlfriend. I would like to be in a, and I get that. I don't like to sleep with my friends in a smaller bed like that. It's just, you can, of course you can, but if I have the choice, I would rather not. So she chose to tell someone who I think that she underestimated the relationship that Lexi and Andrea both. They seem to have a solid, long-standing relationship with Lindsay. So you're talking shit to someone who is not the right audience because her loyalties are where they are. Whitney hasn't established herself with anyone. Right now, she's just a pleasant enough girl that is the girlfriend of a brand new guy as well.
Yeah.
So she overstepped. She didn't play her cards well, and it wasn't well thought out. I just thought Whitney seemed incredibly stupid to go about any of.
But you know what's weird? It just occurred to me is that everyone's up Ian's ass about who is he, what's happening, where are you from, what's going on, what's your relationship status. Danielle a little bit too with Ian.
Yeah.
And then Kenny, right? With, oh, you had this girl, what the hell? But no one's done it to Whitney yet?
Yeah.
No one said, why did you move here? What is your alt? we went and looked, and it didn't take long for us to figure out, or not figure out. I think you guys told us, but it didn't take long for you guys to figure out that, look, us, we're all one. It didn't take long for us as a community to figure out that she was going to move with a friend. It was already in the works. And then she met Kenny, and Kenny was just save some money and move in with me. And so why is no one grilling her about her ulterior motives or her, what her reaction is, or what, not her reaction, her ulterior motives or whatever. Also, I think there's a little bit of Andrea and Lexi are in with Lindsay, and that in the sense of well, Lindsay started the show. Lindsay probably was no, Andrea, and then it let me show you the picture of Andrea in his little Speedo with no shirt. Mm-hmm. Also, why put on clothes? I love ladies. I'm all into ladies. That dude never needs to put on clothes ever again. He can wear that little thingy, and I'll be fine with that. And I don't even want to bang this dude, but I would like to stare at him in that
for inspo.
For inspo, something I could work towards,
Literally, my note is, and this is what the entire show should be. Just Andrea in his underwear. Don't even care if she ever finds the shampoo.
Yeah.
Just give me him in his underwear, and we're fine.
Yeah, totes. Somebody commented this last week that they thought when they first watched it I was gay, and now they're going to be like, I knew it. And be like, okay, fine. Look at that picture.
Gay for Andrea. I think most men are.
Yeah, that's not gay. That's just normal. That's human. So anywho, I think there is a bit of that, but I think there's also, and this is why Lexi's growing on me, or started to grow. So she's starting to flip me in this episode because I think she's just and Andrea too. They're too nice. I'll say nice first and sweet second, and then dumb third, in a nice, sweet way,
Yeah.
right? To not to lie and play the game and do like she was genuine, like what you said when she. As soon as she started to realize this conversation is going somewhere that I'm not sure this isn't what you could, no hiding
could
it.
see
It
it
was
on her
written all
face.
over her
Yeah.
face. And then the fact that she was like, oh, see something, say something. And she said it like, I haven't had that experience.
Yeah.
Right then I was like, okay, maybe I'm wrong about this one. You're not the smartest person in the whole world, which is fine. But you are you got loyalty and you're honest and you're not going to get pushed around. You're not going to get shoved into the baby rookie corner. You're
not going to get caught in a scene with your
You're
pants
not gonna
down
get
with the
caught-
newbie that doesn't know her
yeah.
ass from her head.
And
Hopefully your
Andrea
husband
is
gets
the
caught in a
same-
scene with his pants down, but not you.
Andrea's the same way, so it's starting to make sense why they're together and that they're kind of just sweet and dumb and cute and like happy and honest and good, just good people, you know.
Yeah.
That's starting to come out with her to me, and I liked that.
Whitney said something at the end of this scene that this is why you're not getting it, girl. She said, I just don't like that she feels she's more deserving than other people. I guess that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for you, Whitney, she is more deserving than other people. She has put her life out there for 10 years. She is the reason for the season, the reason you are here, the reason you got to move from Los Angeles to New York, to move in with your boyfriend, to have this influencer New York City lifestyle and be on this television show is because Lindsay walked so you could run.
Yeah.
So she is more deserving. Like that's just it. And Whitney doesn't want to get it because Whitney doesn't understand the pecking order of sorts.
No, and that like you get something because you've done something. Lindsay's not coming in here demanding things that she hasn't earned 10 times over and probably should have gotten by season 5 of Summer House. Like she paid her dues and kept paying the bill almost like she forgot it was paid off or something. Just like kept
She put
doing
shit
it.
in savings for her next bills. Yeah.
Yeah. And and then when Whitney also brings up like, you know, also she has a staff, she has nannies, like, you know, not everybody has that. Yeah, Whitney, they don't. You know who does? A person who was on a 10-season show and was entrusted by the network to shepherd a brand new show again that you are now on. Thank you, Lindsay.
That's right.
Like Whitney, just use your brain. Like just think before you, like any of these things. It would have taken me, like, because these are all very obvious places to go. Oh, she's, you know, always using this as an excuse. I don't know what minute. Cats just think they see something sometimes and their whole body like, goes into the air. And I don't know what they saw, but I wish that my body could do that. It doesn't take much time to kind of work out. Oh, I could say this. Oh, but I won't because that's obvious. They could get me here. They could get me. Like anytime I'm having a conversation like this where there's like a stakes to it, you know, if you don't think I've had it in the car with a fake imaginary person in the passenger seat, like for the last 5 days straight before I rolled it out, you know, like then you're high. Like that's
think again.
Yeah, think again.
Okay, because I have talked about this to Claude, ChatGPT, my mom, my invisible friend.
Yeah.
Ad nauseum.
Yeah. And was there one more thing that I was like, oh,
Well, just really quick about the whole staff thing.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, you could detest Lindsay.
Yeah.
There is one thing that you definitively could never say about her, and that is that she is not a hard worker.
Yeah.
I think this chick is never resting on her laurels because I don't think she believes that she's made it to where she wants to go yet.
No, not even.
Even
though she has for anyone else.
For millions of people. But for her, no, there's more to do in another house in Nashville to buy Hub House 2 or Hub House Miami.
Like, I'm expanding.
That's right. I'm expanding my brand. The reason she has a nanny is one, because she's worked her ass off and can afford to have help, which I think any single parent would say, I would love a second set of hands, someone to watch the kids so I could take a shower or go to this business meeting or whatever. And it's not a luxury that she has been able to afford because her parents gave it to her. It's not a luxury that she affords because her family, you know, she comes from family money and they gifted her this, which also no shade. If that's also your, I would love to come from a wealthy family that's giving me shit like that.
Yeah.
My point is, she is as she has this, not so she can like eat bonbons and get her nails done all day. She hasn't outsourced the raising of her child to other people. She is a busy working single mom.
Yeah.
So I just think that you throwing that out there, it's not the dig that you think it is.
No, it's actually really shitty on you. It just made her look so stupid, and that she didn't think any of this out. And if she did think it out and still didn't think of any of those things, it's like almost even worse. Like,
I don't think the long game is Whitney's strong suit.
Yeah, no, Whitney's taking Lexi's place in the you might be the dumbest one on this cast category. But she also, I think a little bit what you were saying earlier is like Kenny got chosen or what for whatever reason to be like to lock horns with Lindsay and great counterpart, right? So that's going to be fun to watch for a while. That's her man, so she's going to dive into. She probably saw that episode 1, Kenny got like it worked. Like, dang, you nailed that, huh?
Yeah.
Like you're the guy now. Like you and Liz, oh my god,
totally.
I bet I could do something. I'm gonna do
on
one.
Team
I'm
Kenny. We're a
gonna do
team now.
one. You
But
know?
also you're the guy now and I'm the guy's girl, so that must mean I'm the girl.
But not that, because I think that's a step too far for her to get to. I think her thing was, you fight, win, I fight, win. Just that, right? Kenny got in a fight with Lindsay and it worked. It blew Kenny up.
Yeah.
I get in a fight with Lindsay, it blow me up.
Yeah.
She didn't think about, again, she's a one-step type of girl, not a person, not a two-stepper. So her one step was, I'm going to go on the single mom card. The next step was, dude, actually, I should go on I got a man.
Yeah.
Because that would have been equally shitty.
Yeah.
Actually, take that back. It wouldn't have been equally. It would have been shitty. It would have started the fight that she wanted. That fight would have lasted well into the reunion and well into next season. It would have got her a job on next season. It would have been rude, but not untrue.
Yeah.
And the other thing is rude. It's untrue. Like, again, don't pull the like, I'm a mother on me. But I'm definitely not saying like, oh, you're pulling the mom card. Like, I don't think pulling the single mom card rather and saying I'm a mother, I think those are two different things.
Yeah.
And maybe that's my bias because I was raised by a single mom.
So was Kenny.
I wonder what Whitney's situation is.
No, but I think
anyway.
somebody brings up later at some point that, Kenny was also raised by a single mom, and she was like, oh, now it's even worse. I can't remember who.
And Lindsay was raised by a single dad.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I just feel like the single parent,
Yeah.
a single dad,
It was
single mom,
just
like it's still
so
so
stupid.
tough regardless.
Yeah, it was a tough one. And she could have gone with the thing that would have worked because it was true. And it's what Lindsay gave her shit for. And, it's what Kenny clapped back at.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing Kenny clapped back at was like, well, you're giving me this advice, lady?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So she could have gone with that and it would have sucked, but it would have not been untrue.
Yeah.
Whereas the single mom thing, like you said, it's not that it's untrue, but like, don't.
It's
fuck with
honestly
single
one of
mom.
the toughest business plans to roll out. Like, I just don't know how you pull that off.
Yeah.
I think it's just a cheap shot, and she just really overstepped on it and didn't have anything in the barrel. Like, she like came out and pointed the gun, and then it was like the flag that pops out that goes bang. Like
Pow.
Yeah. This was the scene that made me go, that you're the new Amanda. Because I feel like there were moments when Amanda was realizing like, I'm with the king of the castle, and so that makes me queen. So she would kind of try to do shit. Now, Amanda was a lot younger and not so, I guess, brazen about it. Like, she was kind of stumbling over herself like a puppy with oversized boobs,
My favorite kind of puppy.
Okay, now everyone gathers to kind of like do different things. So some people are, wow.
That would have sucked.
Some people are getting wine. Some people are still like settling into their rooms. We've got Georgina in the kitchen with Danielle pouring a glass of rosé, ironically. And Georgina does apologize to Danielle about the dress comment that she made. Owen goes to pour Lindsay a glass of wine. She says, don't poison it. And then to me, the most interesting part of this little segment was when we move upstairs and they're talking about the rooms with Gavin, Kyle, and Amanda. But I don't know if you guys had anything to say about the little kitchen snippet.
I couldn't even remember Georgina talking shit on the dress, to be honest with you. Like when that whole thing, I was like, huh? That happened? Couldn't remember.
Georgina talking shit on the dress.
She
Danielle's
apologized
white
to
pink
Danielle,
dress.
like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I made fun of your dress or said whatever about your dress." It was when I was like, she talked shit about the dress. I couldn't remember.
The other thing that Whitney says about Lindsay is she's like, and she has all this support, like all these friends, like as if like, you know, not everyone has that, right? I think that Lindsay's worked very hard to nurture a lot of relationships in many facets of her life.
Again,
like,
she worked hard for the
Yeah.
friendships, hard to be able to afford the nanny, hard to
Yeah.
be able to get you on this show, Whitney.
Yeah. And when she says something about using it as a get out of jail, having her kid be a get out of jail free card, it flashes back to like, I don't really know what this was about. They go back to like when they're in the trolley for the Loverboy thing.
Oh, right.
I don't think we've ever seen that.
They
before.
didn't.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
No,
I
they
don't-
definitely
yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, because it clearly there was content. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like I have no idea what the context of that scene. It seems like you're talking about something of your kid, but like what?
I know what it like, the pieces that I could put together was just that now that when they were on the trolley, Lindsay was saying to Whitney, basically like your boyfriend's trying to make us all be friends with you because you're crying about the fact that no one likes you and you don't have any friends.
Yeah.
And I got news. This is me reading between the lines. I got news for you. I got a kid. I'm doing this show. I got a bunch of other shit going on in my
then
life. Like
brawled
you're,
in a legal battle.
yeah, like you're not the. Did you ever see Little Miss Sunshine?
Yeah.
You know when the grandfather dies and they're all freaking out at the hospital and the woman that works at the hospital goes, "You are not the only person to have somebody die at this hospital today, okay, sir?" Like, Whitney, you are not the only person who, like, I get that you're so set, like, and I don't mean this in a mean way because I'm a very sensitive person, but it's just coming across as like, get your shit together, girl.
This is not how friends are made.
No,
It's
like-
certainly not on this show and certainly not in this town and with this group of girls. Like you've noticed it. I always say to all of these people that like are just coming up in this, be of service to the principals. That's how you get your relationship formed because they don't need you. What?
It's a little shout out. The Tour de France started on Saturday. Be a domestique for those people who know what that is.
Yeah.
So in cycling is a team sport. It's 8 guys, but there's one dude or woman that's like, that's the person who's going to win the race. And the rest of them, you get a sprinter. But like the most of the team works for that person. Like
Okay, so wait, what are they called? Because
They're
I
called
think that should be my new name for Lindsay.
a domestique.
Domestique is the principal?
No,
the
that's the people in
domestique, that's the
support.
leader. The leader of the,
Oh, the leader. Follow the leader.
and then the domestiques are the guys or the girls that like, if you're climbing, you put 2 or 3 of these climbers in front of the leader, and the leader it's breaking the wind. He's breaking, he's got
Breaking wind?
not breaking
Gross.
wind, but like providing cover, like it's aerodynamic. Blah, blah, blah. I want to get into that, but like they're just there to help. If somebody needs a water bottle, they'll like go back to the team car, load up with water bottles, fucking pedal back up the way, pass out bottles to the team, squirt the guy.
They're
Like
not
just
the pit crew, but like
Yeah.
in the
they're-
sense of,
I mean, yeah, they're racing the
kind-ish.
race, and
Yeah.
they are involved. And if they don't race fast enough, they get kicked out. Like they're part of the race. It's
Yeah.
a team sport, but
You're just not the guy.
there's
Yeah.
a guy. There's
Yeah.
not every team, the big teams.
Yeah.
Like there's not everyone can win, but the big teams have like Teddy Pagacha, Jonas Fingergo. Like these are the big guys, and they have dudes that work for them. Sepp Kuss, he's American, and he's one of the biggest domestiques in the world.
Yeah. Here's the thing. She's not going to even think of that because she's already on the track of, I just don't want her thinking she's better than everyone or she deserves more because she's so far off in thinking about, I'm not giving this person anything to be able to land in her little bird brain that like, no, this is the route to where you're trying to go. You're actually you're going south. This is northbound.
Totally.
Like,
She's kind of giving participation trophy.
yeah.
Like she wants to be recognized and you're going to respect me. And it's like, okay, well, first of all, you just got here.
Yeah.
So you got to earn that.
Yeah.
You're not earning it by way of your boyfriend. It's not through osmosis that we're
Yeah.
just going to like, we witness Kenny and have opinions on him and have gotten into fiery conversations because Kenny has showed up to work.
Yeah.
You don't get that by way of being his girlfriend. And you got to show us why. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I just realized also one more thing. If she would have, and I'm not saying that this is the route to go because this would have been a ballsy move, but like Kenny did it. If you would have said any of this shit to her face when it was being discussed and you didn't wait until you got back to this room and what's her name came in, or I don't know, whose room was that? Was that Whitney's room or Lexi's room?
I think it was Whitney's room.
Okay. And then Lexi, because I feel like one of them was like, can I sit? And it was just like they were finding, it seemed like she went to find that moment to tell someone all the things that she should have said to her face. And even though I would have been like, oh my God, you didn't just say that, did you? Like, I would have, like, respect. I would have been like, you came here, you have something to say, whether I agree with it or not. Lindsay, I also think would have, I don't know if she would have taken it differently, but the show would have, and Lindsay would have recognized her as someone to be reckoned with.
That's right.
You know, and like,
and then you've earned a medal and it's not a participation trophy.
Yeah. And Lindsay's here to get the show going. So I think Lindsay could have been, okay, spicy mayo.
That's right.
You know, she might have.
You know what's funny too, and I get is New York, and I'm obsessed with work, and I'll be that dude on my deathbed that's like, oh God, I worked too much and never hung out with my friends and family. Oh well. This show, I'm just now starting to realize the people that get the people that have respect on this show, just like from a outsider or just like kind of looking from the outside in, if you will. Lindsay, right? Kenny, Gavin, Kyle, sort of, Georgina. They're all the people that have like actual jobs.
Yeah.
Like actual real jobs, right? Yvonne had a real job, but like in between jobs, fine. But like Nick, like cool dude. But somebody calls you and says, get me that chair, and you go find a chair and sand it. Like, awesome. Love that for you.
Might be a little more complicated than that, but yes.
It's not. My mom does it. It's not. So like, Danielle, you're a founder. Cool. Me too. Like the hotel tech entrepreneur. Okay, that's 3 words that I like. Explain that for me, please. I don't care about your ex-wife. I really don't. I'd like to know what you do for a living. But like like the people that have jobs, real jobs, it's New York, are the ones that have respect on this show. And the people that don't really have a clear job or a serious job or a high level job are kind of the like, okay, kids. They're the bless your hearts on the show. Oh, you little cutie, Amanda.
Well, to have a real job, you got to know how to work your way up that corporate ladder, boo.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they get it more.
Yeah.
Please.
What Andrea's just obviously a supermodel. Fine, works for him. What does Lexi do? Do we know?
She's a model.
Okay.
So now we move upstairs where they are, Gavin, Kyle, and Amanda are figuring out their rooming situation. And Amanda says, fine, I'll room with Kyle, which is surprising to me because, again, if I may quote you, Amanda, you're doing everything possible to save this marriage. Wouldn't sharing a room, trying to create some sort of intimate moment with this person be on the top of that list? Stop. It's just so brutal to keep watching.
I know.
This person piss on our leg and try to convince us it's raining.
One correction. What Amanda's doing is west. Let's get that straight. Also, I think what's more weird is how anti Gavin was on the idea of rooming with Kyle. Did you catch that? He was like, I'm not rooming with Kyle. Like he said it to Kenny. He said it a couple of times, and it wasn't a weird, it was like it seemed pretty serious to me.
Why?
And it only was like, they didn't make a big deal out of it. If you didn't catch it, you would have missed it. Like it's a blink and you miss it type of deal.
I mean, I remember it being a conversation and him saying that he didn't want to do that, but I didn't.
That was my question.
He just
was
wanted
like,
his
why?
own room. I didn't know it was because like as a
But
Kyle
like he
specific
didn't
thing.
say I don't want to share a room. He said I don't want to share with Kyle.
Yeah.
It was specifically Kyle. So my question was like, why? Like I'm curious
hold
why.
on. First of all, Kyle and Amanda were the only two left. Everyone else is in a couple and they're bunked up. So he wasn't going to be the third person in Kenny and Whitney's room. So that's why, and he wasn't going to room with Amanda because that would be inappropriate. So for a guy to be with this so-called married woman in a bed,
There was 2 beds.
I just think it doesn't make sense for him to share a room with Amanda.
Kyle's wife.
Yeah, like that just, it doesn't.
I mean, totally. I'm not going
Yes.
to argue that. But
So
there
my
was
point
2
is-
beds, and it seemed very like it didn't seem like I get what you're saying. It didn't seem like that to me. I clocked it and I rewound it to watch it again, and I was like,
Yeah,
it's a
'cause
weird.
now
Just the
that I
way he
think
said it
about
was
But
a
also,
little
don't you
too
think he's
extra.
such a shit starter that he would want them in the
I
same
do,
room?
but I'm just saying this moment to me, and I rewound because when I watched it, when it happened the first time, I was like, "That's weird." It seemed weird. I had a weird
Yeah.
feeling, so I rewound it just to be like, "Is that me in my eyes? Would I miss something?" And I had the same feeling of like, "That seems like there's something there. Like there's like he doesn't want to room with Kyle,
Yeah, I wonder.
and maybe it is just that
Because also
that
it-
everyone was whatever. Like it makes sense. It just for a second I was like, I feel like there's something more there than Gavin just being Gavin. It seemed like there was some meat there.
There could be. I didn't take it as that just because he's extra, period.
Yeah.
And Kyle and Amanda are the only 2 left. So he's not going to be like, I'm not
The
rooming
Kyle-
with Amanda. It was his only option was Kyle.
The Kyle and Amanda being the only 2 left thing, probably that makes way more sense to me.
just seems like you might think it would be funny to room with your boy in like these 2 single
That,
beds,
and the
'cause
fact
they're
that he
not
is
sharing
so-
a bed. There is 2
Yeah.
beds, and they're both like bros.
They're both the kids and
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. Like, so like what Amanda said, like, oh, we're the kids of this group. No, Kyle and Gavin are the kids of the group. Like, put those idiots in there. They would have had the best time. It probably would have been the best 5 minutes we've seen this season, like edited, right? But
I'm
going back to Gavin being the shit stir, yes, he is. So that makes me even like, then why didn't he elaborate? Why didn't he go back downstairs and go deeper into and be like, oh, Kyle, remember Kyle? I don't know. He would have expanded if it wasn't serious, which makes me lean towards, oh, there might be something serious. Because
Okay,
all you
but
do is
look.
talk shit about dumb, non-serious stuff, Gavin.
We're not there, but we do see Gavin really give Kyle a bunch of shine, which is shit stirring, but it still is like,
Oh, with the toast at the end. Yeah.
So like, it doesn't.
It wasn't though.
Well,
Wasn't
I mean,
shine.
like I said, you
It was-
can,
That was Gavin. That was Gavin being Gavin in the city. That's
which
Gavin
made the whole
play
scene
character.
top.
Yeah, you could see it. Like his grins, his smirks, his like looks off camera.
Yeah.
They're too much. Like they're not. He's not. Somebody needs to be like, okay, bro, you're doing a good job. We're not here. The producers in the camp. We don't exist, bro. Stop grinning at us.
Yeah.
Stop looking at me to be like,
Maybe in season 2. Right now it's working for
fine.
you.
But like, it's just so like he is beyond obvious that like everything he does, it's so set up. It's so the same. It's so grinny. It's everything. It's everything. So like, if we're gonna go with the like, oh, this is fully fake and the acting and how you said earlier, like, oh, they're doing such a good job. If I'm like, yes, this is fake and this is a full-on McBee scripted show, like McBee, they don't act good. This is shitty acting, shitty
Yeah,
story,
that's
shitty
why
show.
I could never get into McBee.
Yeah,
because
it's
it was
just
so
dumb.
clearly
It's
fake
so
and like,
dumb, yeah.
oh God.
Yeah.
But
But
hold on.
this is that I'll give on this show, with the exception of Gavin, I'll give you everyone is Academy Award winning.
Yeah.
But Gavin,
are,
I'm
they really
like,
are.
no, dude, stop
Sorry,
looking.
Meryl.
Stop looking at the camera and smiling, bro. You're not supposed to look in the lens and grin after your punchline.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Or what's her name from McBee? The Russian girl, when she
Oh,
goes into the office and closes the door and then starts talking about the FBI with her mic back on.
Or
Okay.
when she smashed the lady's car in the car. Did you
I
do
go,
that? I don't know what
I
you
don't
talk
know
about.
what you mean.
Yeah,
like
no.
But she did get in that gnarly accident and ended up in jail. So that, real things are sometimes happening.
oh well.
What was her name?
It's called an accident.
Good
No,
job.
no. She was like real messed up.
Galina.
Galina.
Yeah.
Galina. Okay. After this scene wraps up, after Kenny says, hey, we just drove out here. We're all really tired. So we're going to have a catered dinner. And then Kyle tells us about his Metamucil journey that I don't really need to go through.
We could just skip right over that. That
The
was
end.
just-
We
Like,
can-
subscribe, hype, and tell a friend.
The
Okay.
end of it was funny to me.
No, it was-
punchline.
it was
the dad,
hilarious.
like, oh, I take a softener too. And he's like, That shit was funny. No pun intended.
But that's an old guy though. Like all of them do.
Kyle, why would
No,
you
but the fact
think-
that he left it out, like I feel like his dad probably left that part out and then was like, my bad, I forgot to tell you. And he's like, Dad, that's the thing I needed to not rip my asshole open. Sorry, son. Better luck next time. Live and learn. Am I right?
Yeah. Also, Metamucil's not like isn't Metamucil just like a process thing to like it's why are you taking it? It's not like, oh, I'm just going to take some put some olive oil in my coffee in the morning, help lube the stuff. I don't know. Like Kyle, why are you taking this?
Maybe he needed to,
Release?
Fine, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Kyle just seems like
Well,
a
he's
young,
also-
healthy
he's taking it 'cause his dad
whippersnapper.
said to
I don't know
take
why
it.
he needs this.
That was the whole thing. He's like, oh, I went back home. My dad said he was taking this stuff and having the best things ever. No toilet paper. And he was like, okay.
I know,
And
but
so he started doing it. And then his dad forgot to tell him, oh, there's actually a second thing you need to take so you don't blow your asshole out.
I know. I just think like if you're having normal, things happening.
You going somewhere?
Her light is out now. I'm wondering how long.
Oh no.
Sorry, technical difficulties. I think that Minnie popped Courtney's light out and just took the cube and disappeared into the evening because it's just gone. So
We
anyway.
always say she's a little bit in competition with me. When I start talking, she starts shouting. She's like, I'm taking that light out.
Yeah.
Minnie, I love you. We're stronger together. Okay. After this, everyone gets ready for dinner. This is when Amanda and Kyle, come out in their short robes. Oh, wait, sorry. Did I say my piece on? Yeah, I guess I did. It's like, I'm going to say this and then we can move on. I feel like, obviously in hindsight with everything that we know, every move Amanda is making it's just giving, oh my God, you don't want to cheat on your boyfriend with your husband.
Yeah.
And, maybe nothing was happening here, but it certainly still is reading as an emotional affair because these are not the actions of someone who is trying to rehabilitate their relationship. Because even last week in that dinner scene, when Gavin was saying, are you still in love with him? She says, I wouldn't be doing everything that I was doing if I didn't love him and want this relationship to work. Well, you're saying this, but the actions are not matching up with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone's getting ready for dinner. Amanda and Kyle come out in these short robes, and she says, Kyle and I are forced to be together. And she says, I've put my own feelings aside for the benefit of everyone else.
Dude, I've never wanted to just stop
was that at
down
dinner?
and just clip that and put it up. And then I'm like, oh, right, this is a screener. You can't put this on the internet. But like, how do you say that with a straight face?
How?
But she probably didn't. Like she probably was like, like
Smirking about it.
Yeah, like the fact that to say that 2 or 3 days after that dinner, that you were a major culprit of.
And she wore, that interview was in the big gold button shirt. So it was after the fact. So the fact that she is saying that everything has happened and everyone knows it's all happened. Like,
Bro, twat face, what are you doing?
Lexi is now looking for her shampoo while Andrea brushes his teeth in his underwear. Mike and I, this is our favorite moment of the episode.
Yeah, rewind. I mean, no.
Amanda, Lindsay and Georgina are getting ready in their room, and Georgina tells them that Yvonne was visibly annoyed to not get the primary. Kyle draws himself a bath to help his anal fissure or whatever he had. Also, a man after my own heart because I love a bath. Kenny and Nick are unpacking dinner, and then Lexi comes into the bathroom to say, hey, I don't have my shampoo and conditioner. Can I borrow some of yours? And very quickly gets into, Georgina says, oh, were you here for the whole room thing? Lexi says, yes, it was Kenny's idea to offer them the primary suite as an olive branch. Lindsay's over it. She walks out of the room, and Lexi basically says, Whitney was not happy about this and she wants to make Yvonne feel supported. And then she also said Lindsay uses the single mother card. I think she actually misspoke unless Whitney said this. She was like, you guys use the single mother card.
I was wondering that this starting to feel like a little game of telephone.
Totally.
Just like that last thing was. There's something later that comes up that I'm like, did somebody say that? And it's a big word.
Okay, I'm curious what that is when we get there. However, I do kind of think Whitney in her espousing on what she feels happened or why she thinks it was wrong for them to take the room, I can see that she possibly said, I think they're just using the single mother card, and Lindsay uses the single mother card all the time. So I'm wondering if she just said it that one time. And unfortunately, Georgina was like, the baby went out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
When really Lindsay was public enemy number one of that statement. And then Lexi basically just was giving the abbreviated bullet points. And because she did say it at one point, one point in the conversation, that's how it got out there. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Oh, and then Amanda says, I'm actually the one that brought up the mom thing because we were in the car and I said, you guys must be exhausted. You should take the primary suite. I don't know, Amanda. It's
like the first time that, like, or maybe she's, I don't know. Amanda, honestly, she can't do anything right by me at this point. So like, sorry, sorry, not sorry. But yeah, I was looking at that too going, oh, wow, that was kind of the first time I've ever kind of seen her be like, actually, I did that, you know? Like, but was that her taking accountability for something, even though like there's nothing to be accountable for here. It's a very easy thing to say. Or was that her trying to say, Lindsay, I'm the one that was saying that you guys work so hard and you have, should really get this. You guys have really earned this and deserve it. Like, is that her being a minion?
I do think that it's one of those situations where because of the place that that Amanda finds herself currently in, I can't get behind anything she's saying. However, this does seem very logical. I'm sure she did say this and it makes sense that those were the only 3 people in that car. She said that to Lindsay and Georgina. Lindsay helped plan. She's the co-host of the weekend. As soon as they got to the house, Georgina was the one that went in and threw her bags down, probably based off of the conversation they had in the car.
Yeah.
And like all of that maths.
Yeah. But, okay, maybe it was in this scene then, because I said, this feels like another game of telephone, and that's going to be annoying if they continue to leave us to our own assumptions when we're talking about these squabbles. Did Whitney also say that mom card shit about Georgina too? And then I put, did anyone ever use the word victim, Whitney or Lexi, in the relay? Because she also calls her a victim, says that you were acting like a victim, which is just like, nobody wants to be told that they're acting like, it's just very insulting, Yeah. So like, I never heard Whitney say the victim thing.
I remember that. It is weird though. It's funny.
You do remember
I said
that?
I don't remember that. It's funny that we love each other so much though, because I have the same note of like, this game of telephone is getting crazy. But it's funny, 2 things. It's funny that Andrea and Lexi are the 2 people caught in the game of telephone this season.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Which Andrea, fine, you get a pass because English is a second language thing. But also like, no, bro. You
Also,
definitely,
it was murky.
Yeah, fine. But like he didn't, no one said murky. Andrea was like, this is what I think he was saying is what happened.
And Andrea did say, no, you did not say murky.
Not the point. The point is, she's also going and doing. They're doing the Craig Conn. They learned this from the great Craig Conover.
This is just what Whitney did for Kenny. Now Lexi's doing it for Andrea.
Here's what they said, but I know what they actually meant, so I'm going to tell you that part. So I think that is funny, but I'm also the telephone. Like, I'm getting sick of the game of telephone on a show with 5 cameras, 3 audio guys, a whole post department, editing. Like, you guys. Pay attention, or the producer's got to be like, hey, just real quick. Yeah, he didn't say that because you guys are looking like complete friggin' idiots, and it's got to. At some point, you got to start blaming the producers.
They're doing it on purpose,
letting their cast look like dumbasses,
which is just so obnoxious.
Yeah.
Georgina then goes and fills Lindsay in on what Whitney said. Lindsay, I did kind of love this line when Lindsay goes, "It must be tough going to Pilates, getting a matcha, and begging your boyfriend for a closet."
No, that is so up. That's such a up thing to say.
In response to what was said about you?
I mean,
if
yes.
someone said I was using the single mother card
and a victim,
I would say I would
both
say
things
something.
are up. How's that?
Okay.
But they can't be equal when one's in response to another. That's just how I live. That's
also, it's not true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know does Whitney have a
Right, but what is that? That's not, you can't blame her. You can't make that her fault, right? Like that's,
Whitney's chosen occupation.
No, I'm not blaming her for anything. I think her day
no,
does
but
consist
Lindsay
of
is. Lindsay's shitting on it. Lindsay doesn't have anything else to say. So she's like, oh, sorry, it must be real tough getting matchas and having, like, sorry, that's her life. Don't shit on her because her boyfriend lets her live that, or that's the life she, like, I don't know. It's sometimes I get annoyed when people shit on someone who has like just an easy ass life because they just do. They're not a bad person. They're not mean. And you're just shitting on them because they go get matchas every day. Who cares?
If you were just told that you've got a whole support system, you've got nannies,
Yeah,
you know,
listen,
a lot of people
again,
don't. So
both
like,
things are shitty.
sure,
you fired, I'm firing back.
yeah, like what did you want her to say? Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, and then just like, hey, do you know Lindsay?
Well, what I
Have you-
wanted her to
have you met
say
Lindsay?
was go address it head
Go
on
annihilate her. Yeah,
about what she said, right? And it's not like don't go stoop to her level. If you're the great Lindsay Hubbard, Mother Hubbard, and you're supposed to be this amazing woman, this amazing then go be amazing. Go confront the situation, cause a scene, literally. Do your job, do your EP thing, make it happen. Let's get a little teaser. Give me a to be continued. We haven't had a to be continued this year. Has anyone had a to be continued on a season 1, Lindsay? You could have had that. You could have been the first reality star to get a to be continued S1. Never been done.
listen,
She didn't.
She
So
knows
she
that
just was a dick
She knows
about
that there's
it.
a dinner table takedown coming, so
That's
she's
right.
gonna save it.
She's got to pace
for that.
herself.
She wants to lean
Fine,
across
it
the
just
table and do a
was-
lot of pointing
Yeah.
and not have it weird angles. And can the cameraman keep up with me when I dart off to go and have this? I understand what you're saying because I wanted Whitney to say things to her face as well. It seems like Lindsay is probably just calculating and to be like, no, I'm gonna do this at dinner, and
It's like the people who shit on, like, there's trust fund kids who are dicks, and then there's trust fund kids who are not dicks. They're just not. And the people who don't have trust funds who shit on those trust fund kids who are not dicks for having trust funds, like, the guy's parents worked hard and their decision was to leave the kids money. Like, sorry that didn't happen with you and your
Yeah.
parents. Like, talk to your parents, man.
Yeah.
Like, but that
But
guy's
then if
fine. He's
that-
not a dick. And there are trust fund kids that are dicks. Don't go pick on those kids, you know? So
Yeah.
it just seemed like that.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Whitney said this thing, but the response was immature and 20-year-old-ish.
I was here
Sorry
for the
for the
response.
20-year-olds.
And I wish I was better than that. I really
I
do.
know.
I
I'm
just
like-
think if someone who I think Lindsay looks at Whitney as a little bit of a twit.
yeah,
And it's
and
like-
we're all here with you.
And I have worked so hard. You are here. You are because I am.
Yeah.
And you need to fall in line a little bit.
Yeah.
And if you're going to come for me like, it's also just such a cheap shot because I think going after any area of where someone's child resides, you know, I think that feels a little bit of like I said, a cheap shot.
Yeah.
And especially when you're a boyfriend, like they say it in this next moment, you know, Kenny's mom was a single mother. And then I kind of feel like, again, it's not kind, but this show is not kind,
Yeah.
right? So I think there's a little bit of that leeway there for Lindsay to say, oh, I'm so sorry you think I've got a staff waiting on me and my child is being raised by nannies. It must be so challenging to compute all of this going on in
Yeah.
between your Pilates, matcha, and asking for the closet.
Not to jump ahead, but you know what it was? I'm gonna stick to this because she did it again later with Yvonne. And like, fine with Whitney. Whitney clapped at you. You're clapping back. You don't know this chick for dick. Yvonne's your best friend, one of your best friends, and you did it with her. You belittled her later on. You made her feel insecure and stupid, or you tried to. I don't know if it worked, but you did it. You did it to your friend.
I
Which
think
we'll
I
get
know what you're
into
talking
later.
about,
Yeah.
but we'll get there because I think I disagree. So then,
I can't wait to get into that one. Does anybody want more of this stuff?
go for it.
I can't even tell what's in there. So
The wine is in here.
I understand, but
This is a
is there
bottle of
like
Meteor?
Yeah.
just drink it if that's
Like that much?
Pour yourself a glass and whatever you don't want, Nat and I'll split. All right?
yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to make the decision for you.
No, I couldn't tell if he was trying to offer me the last glass.
Oh, they have the last.
I
They
mean,
have the
there-
last.
yeah,
No,
there's-
no, no. I was just saying it seemed like he wanted wine,
so
but he was
complicated.
looking at me as if like,
it's not like we don't have 42 bottles
did you
of this
want this
wine either.
wine? I can open another bottle. We do have a lot of wine.
That's what I'm saying.
And I
It's
also
would you
feel
just-
like
I'm just asking if you guys want more wine. Usually with the meteor, that answer is yes. So I'm honestly not sure why I asked.
It's always a yes. Yvonne then enters the chat and just basically says, can you guys hear everything that's going on in this house? Because, obviously
Yeah.
the walls are thin. Lindsay says, sure can. And then she tells her about like the whole Whitney, they talk about the whole Whitney single mom comment. And Amanda was like, yeah, I don't think that's what everyone here is talking about.
yeah.
And then Yvonne asks Lindsay if she wants to go and have a little bit of a chat. And that's when they go into the next room.
Yeah. I like how they talk to each other, Yvonne and Lindsay.
Yeah.
Like it was so I just get so much anxiety and like just weird. I just become a weirdo when like I know that something needs to be addressed or like we're going to talk about something, especially if it's going to be on camera. I would just be like wanting to avoid it at all costs. I would just be over in my head thinking about it. Like in like a private conversation, I don't like that. So then the fact that it's going to be on camera, Yvonne hasn't had that with anyone yet. Yvonne hasn't had a Lindsay beef argument that she's going to have to, her best friend who she's been watching her show for the last 10 years. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's a lot. And I just like the way that they both were like talking to each other and their eye contact and they're like, want to do it now? Right now? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I did hear that. Did you want to chat? Like, it was just, I don't know. I admire that. It's an inspiration to me.
No, I loved it too. I thought
Yeah.
this was a conversation that actually felt like
Two friends,
Talking.
genuine best friends.
Mike disagrees.
Sorry, I tuned up for a second. We're talking about Yvonne and Lindsay.
Yeah.
When Yvonne went and tried to tell Lindsay that she was upset that she didn't really help out, and then Lindsay was like, "Oh, at your what the did Lindsay call it? Oh, at
Civil
your
ceremony
civil
celebration.
ceremony celebration with an attitude." Like, I had to pause the freaking thing and sit there for a second because I was like, "No, she didn't," and
But
then
that's
rewind
what
it and be like,
was. That's what it was. When you have to go to a destination wedding
I can't,
and you
I
got to
can't,
go.
I can't.
Oh,
Are you being serious
but
right
you know
now?
what, Mike? Because you never have to go to these things, or like you
I
kind of.
never have to go to these things.
To
Are you hearing what
destin-
I'm saying? Did you? Lindsay said to her best friend,
Yes, she called it a civil ceremony because I think Lindsay's in
Because
on the
it-
fact, like, bitch, we just literally pitched this idea last week.
Yes.
You weren't going to do this. Like,
I think Lindsay was being a dick. Like, this was not two best friends talking. This was one friend trying to tell her other friend that this dinner that she planned, whether it was produced or planned 3 days ago or whatever, she clearly spent money on it that they don't have. They put some effort into it, and it was completely hijacked. When she asked for it to just try to get back on the rails, she asked her friend, who's the pro, like, you're Lindsay, this is your can you please help me get this? She didn't do it. She dug in deeper. Lindsay blew up the whole thing. She made it about her. She made it about Kyle. She made it about Amanda, Danielle, Yoyan. Like, she didn't stop, Yvonne. Like, the dinner was a disaster. Produced or not, it was a production disaster. If it was completely produced, it was a disaster. Because it was mean and rude and too much. It was too far. Like, it was too far. It was too much shitting on love and marriage at a dinner that was supposed to represent two people who got married and were having this celebration on the TV show, right? That's what it was, whether it was fake or not. Like, that was the story. And then to add to that story to make it worse was let's derail this whole thing. Whatever. I don't need to get into this. I did it all last week. It was a shit dinner. One friend was trying to tell her other friend this was a shit dinner. I feel like you could have helped it. You didn't. You dug in deeper. Lindsay interrupted her multiple times, didn't let her finish to argue that point. She wouldn't listen. Lindsay was kind of a dick. Then she was degrading and belittling with you mean your civil ceremony? She said it with an attitude. Like, it was so rude and demeaning. Even Yvonne was kind of like deer in headlights. I don't think she even knew what was happening. I got the sense that Yvonne was like, had never seen this side of Lindsay. And I wouldn't be surprised if after they were done, Lindsay was over and was like, that's a good one, right? Like, I'm just kidding. We're cool. And Yvonne was like, what the I don't even understand what just happened. That probably, but like, regardless, what they showed us, I didn't see two best friends having a nice talk. I saw one friend trying to explain to her other friend that she had a problem with her, and the other friend interrupting, belittling, demeaning, not apologizing for it, not ever having that moment of like, you know what, I see where you're coming from, my bad, or anything. No remorse, no feelings, nothing. She just was like, whatever. It's how I expect the conversation with Whitney to go, because she doesn't know Whitney. She doesn't like Whitney. They're not friends. So yeah, peace out, lady. I don't even know who the you are. Yvonne's supposed to be her best friend. So I'm not sure how that came across as two buddies.
When I was talking about I like this interaction, was not talking about the talk. I was talking about them deciding to have a talk, them addressing that they needed to have one. And Georgina says, I think we all think that you guys should. And the way that they're back and forth on deciding to move to another room to have this discussion is just, I would have been sweating. I was just making it like a personal thing. Like if that were me, and it just seemed like Yvonne was totally comfortable in her skin. Lindsay had a big smile on her face, like was like, you know, just very welcoming to like, let's go take care of that now. Yeah, like great. Okay, great. That's all I was talking about with that. About the actual discussion, it's hard. It seems like you think things were very produced, but then but then all of a sudden it's like you don't think that they were, because all of a sudden feelings matter. I think that everybody went into that dinner knowing what was going to go down the dinner. I don't know if they knew that about, like I said, Danielle's interactions stuck out to me as something that like she wasn't planning, or that she was decided to bring up that like maybe they hadn't spoken about, but literally everything else felt very much like this is the place we're going to have all of these discussions about this. Danielle calling her a bitch across the table, that seemed like out of nowhere to me. But also, you did approve the dress, and now you're going to call her out in front of a room of people that I think that Danielle is still trying to be like, am I welcome here? Does anybody want me on the show? Clearly, Lindsay doesn't. Like, they're having that where she says it, like that's been on her. You could tell, because that's been on my mind. I think I've brought that up a couple times. Like, do you think that Lindsay's in charge of like who gets to be on this show? Because I would not think that a casting of Danielle would make her very happy. I see Lindsay wanting to move on with her life and move away from, even if she doesn't really want to move away from Danielle because they're sisters, but like wanting to like, oh my God, can I just start at least the first season of my own thing and like do it my way? And then we can have cast discussions, but let me put something, trust me to do this. Anyways, that's beside the point, but that's what I've always thought about this. So to bop back and forth between this was very staged and produced to it all went to hell. It all going to hell on a staged or produced scene seems to me like the goal, like the clear goal of like it all fell apart and made what I thought was great television. That's my opinion. That's how I loved it. I walked out. I didn't know that you were going to feel this way. I remember I walked out of the room. I'm like, banger. Like that's just like I screamed it from the hallway. You texted me, yeah, before I even got out here, not realizing you were going to have a completely different vision of it. So that's tough for us to kind of made a ping pong back and forth between how produced was this and what feelings were real. Because like I said, the one that I think stuck out as authentic was Danielle's stuff. Anyhow, Yvonne did get very specific with Lindsay, where she was like, Amanda, come sit here. No, Lindsay's sitting next to you. And she's like, ugh. Like, so Lindsay did get some jabs from Yvonne at this dinner when everybody there was acting a fool. And she was directing it all towards, this is going to die. Great. She was directing it all towards Lindsay, as if Lindsay had done this all herself, or as if this wasn't all pre-discussed. So I don't know. It's hard to dissect this in a way where you're including both, that I think this was all, everyone knew what they were getting into here, but where were the wrongs made? Like who overstepped? What moment was taking it too far to really make it go to a place where you were just like, this was a disaster. Everyone owes Yvonne the room, the apology, the, whatever. Like it's, I feel like
if it's overproduced, the producers probably owe her an apology. And if it's real life, then her friends do. But regardless, the only thing Yvonne knows, as far as we know, is Lindsay. She knows Lindsay. Like you said a while back, she's been watching her friend on TV for 10 years.
Right.
Her friend got this show going. Her friend got her and her husband on the show. Yvonne clearly knows that, right? So Yvonne knows that Lindsay is Mother Hubbard. Yvonne knows that Lindsay can make shit happen and stop things. She thought, I'm assuming. So I think that's what Yvonne was like, can you help? I didn't expect this. I knew we were going to do that. Yeah, we planned the thing. I thought Kyle and Amanda were going to have 10 minutes of things that Dum Dum over here was going to kick off because that's what we've been doing. I didn't know 17 other fights were going to happen. I didn't know that Georgina was going to sit here and start to, like, I didn't know this was going to happen. So can you please try and get a handle on it? And Lindsay was like, no, that's not how this works, kid. And just so like that to me, that's up. It's just up. It's up on production. It's up on friends. It's to not really. The only one who apologized ever in real life, or I think on the show, was Kyle, who was like, yeah, that went too far. He literally said it in the socials like that. I've been on this shit for 10 years and we've never had a dinner that went that far.
He said we've never had a okay, well that's asinine.
I know when I read that also I thought that I was like, well, where were you for the last 10 years of Summer House?
We've
the
watched
last year when you blew up and you and Amanda are fighting with each other and you and Carl almost got into a fight, that to me seemed worse than what happened at their wedding dinner.
Yeah.
To me.
No, I agree. And I also feel like the points, okay, if Lindsay's points that she made in this discussion, I think happen to be a very relatable to the people. Courtney had a whole show about it.
I was just going to say, and defense disclaimer, okay? Or projection disclaimer. The way that this read to me was, and listen, you can have as many baby showers as you want, but the traditional Emily Post rules are, it's your first kid, you get the baby shower, and we're done after that.
Yeah.
I can understand if you get remarried to someone and it's their first child, but usually then that's the guy's first child and men don't really care about showers. Also, I know it's a different time, but if we're just going by the classic rules, it's one first kid, one shower, we're done. We now live in the land of we're having sprinkles and we're having every kind of celebration.
The piss and pee.
The sip and see. That's what I said on Uncorked. Sip and see, piss and pee, sprinkles, gender reveals. It's so much that I personally have celebration fatigue.
Yeah.
With all of this stuff. And I think when you have asked someone to go to a foreign country to take time off from your job and your life and get a sitter for your kid or bring your kid, which is probably even more of a schlep, to go to this wedding, and this is the big shebang, right? And now we know, okay, that was the thing. That was the moment that needs to be perfect, and that is your real celebration with all of your actual friends, your family members, etc.
Yeah.
This, to me, seems like the shower for the third kid. I get it. It's still important. I'm the third kid, okay? Like, celebrate my mom having me. It's a lovely idea. But if my mom was on a reality TV show and she was fighting with her sister-in-law, something crazy happened at the third shower, it's like, or it's the third shower for the first kid. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think everything's real on these shows. To me, it just was giving... You know what happens at, there's a name for it, the dinner table takedowns. Like, we know what happens here. It was not your real wedding. It was not we went to the civil ceremony. That was.
You called me the Swiss Army hubs because I brought the boutonniere, I brought the flowers, I carried the jacket, I signed the witness thing. I spent all day with you. Then I had to go home, probably shower because I'm sure it's hot at this time, you know, and like, and do the whole thing over again and then show up to your dinner in a whole new outfit, a whole new face of makeup. And like, I've been up since 4 a.m. at this point. And like,
right. And there was also the bridal shower and the real wedding and the bachelorette party. Like, and of course you do all of this and you show up for your friends because you love them and you want to celebrate them. But this to me, it's like, we're on the 80th iteration of a sprinkle, a sip and see, or whatever. And I'm happy for you, but we filmed this under the guise of a television show. Everyone here is at odds. You roll the dice with this shit. It wasn't your actual wedding. And they get later to what I actually think is more of the issue. Yvonne says, ever since you had a kid, I feel like our relationship has changed.
Yeah.
And you know, we're working our way through that. And I very deeply understand that. I have had lots of friends, well, not lots, but a few friends that have had children, and it does change a relationship. And it is on you to make sure that you're tending to that friendship and keeping it healthy. And Lindsay said, I'm sorry I couldn't be the friend for you that, you know, the best friend for you that I want to be in that moment. And Yvonne accepted it. And I see both sides of it. I really do. Like, I don't think Lindsay's a monster, and I don't think Yvonne is crazy for being sad about what happened. But I also think, like, listen, lady, the only reason you were able to pay for that dinner and have this whole thing is because of this show. It's a circular argument.
Yeah. And also, I feel like her and Lindsay could have been like on the phone and
Did you seriously just throw out the only way you could pay for your dinner is because of me thing? You think that's what Lindsay's saying and you're going?
No, what I'm saying to Yvonne is this dinner, you just lost your job and you're trying to have a kid and you live in New York City. So the probability of you throwing a massive dinner after a civil ceremony when you probably spent so much money on the bachelorette party and the actual wedding in Mexico all of that is...
Because of Lindsay.
No, it's not because of Lindsay. I'm saying it's because you're on this TV show. And if this TV show wants to make a meal out of this dramatic thing that could be a moment, they're going to do it. And I think a little bit of that is just, you know, pros play hurt. Like, you're not always going to get what you want. You just got to have to like roll with it on some of these shows.
There's part of me that thinks that it's not about you stealing my wedding day. I feel like maybe Lindsay and Yvonne had this discussion about, should we do, like, Lindsay might have even told her, you should do your thing. We should have like, that can be a thing. I feel like Yvonne went into this thinking that this was going to be like how this is a trip that Kenny and Lindsay planned. This was she was hosting this event, and that this was going to be her sort of debut television, like, everyone is here, and this whole night is about me and my partner. So for me and my partner to get established on this show. I don't think it was about the sanctity of her civil ceremony wedding day. Like, I just, and if it is, bitch, grow up. You've had 9 events already. Like, it rubs me the wrong way. I'm sorry. Because I know Lindsay. You can say a lot of things about Lindsay. If you don't think that she showed up to that destination wedding with the best gift, the best speech, backup, this, that, and the other, the sort of the wedding planner, first aid kit,
yes.
You know,
nipple covers, boob tape, a tampon, the morning after pills, or something.
Getting shit comped, getting deals sent, we got a case of vodka sent by this company, whatever. Like, to know Lindsay is to know that those things are happening. So I just felt like in this moment, if this was a real moment and she did have a real beef with Lindsay, I don't think it was about the sanctity of her special day. And so I felt that the reason that Lindsay took that route to go out of her way and call it those words was because
she needed a little bit of reality check. That like we have celebrated you, girl. We have celebrated you 8,000 times over the last year and a half. I am so happy for you. I need to move on with my life.
Yeah. And I felt also when she was like talking about what I love about our friendship is that we have real conversations. You and I are very real with each other. It's a beautiful thing, which translated to me as we have talked about people having 900 events for their things and how we have to go everywhere, and how maybe for you, it's not that feasible anymore because you just lost your job and you used to have all those connections at all the hotels and the things. And like, that's not I imagine she could still be able to call it. because I was literally thinking about this. That job is like, if I wanted a real job in the real world, with a penny lane out in the real world, if this were the real world, I would want that job more than anything.
Really?
A job just in hospitality where like all you're getting is free airlines, free hotel, like, or even if just one or the other, because one of them is always doable. It's the other one that makes it where you don't hit the purchase button, you know? So I was wondering like that would be a huge downer. Like when you do leave certain industries, it's not about the, what's her name say? It's in The Jerk. If you haven't watched The Jerk with Steve Martin. And what's her name? Garbo or Brigitte. What's her name?
I can't remember, but it was such a great line.
Not Greta Garbo. I don't care about losing all the money. It's losing all the stuff. So good. Anyway.
Okay. Can we move on to the next scene?
Yeah. I let's just say they wrapped it up beautifully. Yvonne got what she needed, or she knew she was outmatched, and so she was like, "And that's all I wanted. That's all I needed. Thank you so much."
They agree to move on.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so now this is the last scene, long scene. They all sit for dinner. Andrea yells for Kyle to sit next to Amanda, and Amanda says, "I already have to share a room with him."
Sorry.
Oh no, I'm not rolling my eyes at you.
Okay.
I'm rolling my eyes
like,
at him.
sorry.
Oh,
I looked over
God,
right
no.
at the wrong time.
Are you kidding? No. Amanda says, "I already have to share a room with him because you chose to marry him."
Yeah, she's forgetting like the groundwork that she's laying. Because honestly, this would be a great trip. It's so non-committal. It's a work trip. That's where people hook up, is on a work trip.
Yes.
And then like it's we all have to go home to our lives after this. We got to get back to work at 7 a.m. on Monday, whatever. Like, and the company's paying for the room.
Yes.
Like that's why people do that. Like that would have been the perfect spot for them to have. Like this weekend isn't about us. We aren't hosting this.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let's just have this room and see if there's any old magic that we can fire up.
Yeah. And this is why I say it just sounds like she doesn't want to cheat on her boyfriend with her husband.
Yeah.
Everything that comes out of her mouth. She doesn't want to share a room with him. I already have to sit next to him. She doesn't want to drive in the car next to him because I don't want to sully what's going on with this guy that I really love.
Yeah.
Who's not my husband.
Yeah.
They talk about Gemma having her first steps and they all toast to that. And then this is when Gavin gets his grubby little hands in there saying, "I also think we should toast to Kyle because he has 14 DJing gigs lined up." And Amanda apparently did not know about that. She's not happy. She's not so overly angry that he doesn't tell her these things, to which I want to be at the table and say, "Well, Amanda, you didn't tell him that you signed a lease for a year as opposed to 30 days, that's what was agreed upon. You're also not sharing things with him. She says later in the scene, he's building his future and not including me in it." Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't live here anymore.
But also, you weren't included when you sat down at that anniversary dinner that we all think was staged, and you said, "I'm moving out." And he says, "Okay, well, I support that." And she goes, "I'm not asking you to support it. I'm not asking you to give me your permission."
Yeah.
Right. So now Kyle is not asking you to give him permission to live his life, which is why you guys just shouldn't be married. You don't like each other at a fundamental, intimate level. You might like each other as friends, but not to be intimate.
Yeah.
But this has been going on forever. Like, I don't think Kyle's not telling her because of that. I think Kyle's not telling her because she doesn't give a shit. She doesn't care about Kyle's successes or what he wants to do with his life or that he's in debt. And set aside that Kyle seemingly loves to DJ and apparently he's good enough at it.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's a ton of DJs getting managers and 16 city deals that are shit, like totally shit. So he's pumping up the crowd. He's making people spend money. That's what a DJ is supposed to do. But Amanda, you don't give a like you don't give a shit about the business. You don't give a shit about Loverboy. You don't give a shit about the debt. You don't give a shit about the fact that he did this and like, listen, he drinks too much. He stays out too late. But honestly, now I'm wondering if because you don't care, you don't listen, you don't give a shit about his ideas or his successes. And after a while, he's just stopped telling you because why? What's the fucking point?
Well, because I think her moving out of, I think we're saying the same thing. Like her moving out of the apartment.
This was This is 2 years ago. They were having this argument in season 9.
No,
they were having it last year at Summer House with the whole manager thing. Like, I'm talking to a manager. And she was like,
I was just
didn't
using
know.
these 2 present day examples. I agree with you. Yes, it's been happening historically, summer after summer. What I'm saying is that I think the same thing that you're saying is this has been happening. He said, now that she's moved out, I feel free to live my life. Like, I think that's the only change. This has been happening. And now that she's out of his life, he's just like, yeah, great. I'm gonna do me. But it has been happening and he hasn't been doing that, even though people could argue he was because he was out. But I think all of that was more a reaction to her actions towards him. Not saying that he's husband of the year.
No. What it seems like has happened is that it doesn't actually matter what Amanda says about anything, because Kyle has gotten to the point of like, someone has to live in reality, in the real world, where a rent payment is due and the electric bill must be paid. They're not on my trick. And so it doesn't seem like she's not open to any of this, but I've done the math and the research, and this is going to pay me by far 1,000 times more in way less gigs, like way less hours, way less days. Like, when we flash back and hear that he's going to make $250,000 from a 14 days of work, let's call it 28. Let's add a travel day in there. Do you guys know anyone making $250,000 in a month, in 28 days? A short month. You know anyone who's making $250,000? And like, for her to have anything to say about this, unless they are sitting on banks of millions of dollars that I don't know about and they have misled us about because they've talked about this note that he has to pay and acted as if it could be the reason that the whole operation goes down. Unless that's happening, and this is all a storyline that the business isn't really sinking and he doesn't have to pay this much money, or he has it, he could easily pay it, no problem. Then Kyle has decided that, like, I have tried to explain to you 7 Ways Till Sunday. It doesn't work. You don't get it. And the rent is still due. So I'm not going to ask you about this anymore. At this point, I know that you're not thinking about us. I know that you're not thinking about this partnership or our lives or the law, the law of like paying your, whatever. So,
and in Amanda's mind, that was when Kyle stopped taking care of her.
Right. Yeah.
So that's when Kyle went this way and Amanda went this way.
Yeah.
Because Kyle exactly what is that? 100%. She didn't give a shit. She doesn't get it. He's trying to explain it. This happened years ago. She's like, so he's like, cool, fuck off. I'm doing whatever, and I don't give a fuck about anything that you say anymore. And I'm not going to tell you about my life. And do with that what you will. Well, what she did was go the other way, get offended, feel like, oh, he's not taking care of me anymore, and I'm a little princess, and I don't have a prince to take care of me. That guy, he drinks too much, he cheats on me, he DJs all the time, and spun it all into this poor me victim, and now I'm going to leave him.
Yeah.
And now I can't believe he didn't tell me that he got a DJ bitch. Sorry, not bitch. Twat face.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Amanda basically ends all of this by saying, there's a lot of moving parts in our relationship and it's best not to talk about it, but we can still celebrate Kyle. And even though I didn't know about any of this, and Kyle's like, yeah, I've been trying to tell you since March. And I do believe him that he's been trying to say something, but she doesn't care. She's disengaged from the relationship.
Because we heard about this. This is at another dinner table event that they were talking about the manager. So like they have been talking about this.
It was on Summer House.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it has to do with her moving out and doing the lease. I think like that's so far past what this conversation is. I will say, after all of that twat face stuff, this was the only time and probably the only time forever that I will be like when she said that, like, listen,
yes,
I'm offended. Not offended, but when she was like, my feelings are going to be different about the DJ thing than everybody else's, and it shouldn't be the thing that prevents everyone else from being excited and happy for it. Like,
it doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah, like that was another pause moment where I was like, what did Amanda? I had to rewind it to be like, was that one of those where the camera wasn't on? You didn't see the lips moving, and it was like, nope, straight on her fucking face. What she said, and I was like, okay, that's the most mature, respectful, honest thing that you've said in 2 seasons.
Maybe longer.
Maybe longer. Maybe ever.
Danielle then says Kyle.
Oh no! She says one more thing though, because she says that because I had that same exact like, wow, that's a moment I've literally never seen with this woman. But then she ends it at the end and by going, I mean, would have been nice to have a conversation beforehand.
Yeah. I mean,
Right, and
it's
that's
like,
when
you had to throw a
right,
dig
because
in.
you're a victim.
Yeah,
because
totally.
that's your little safe space in victimhood.
Yes, and that's when Kyle says, like, I've been trying to tell you this since March.
Yeah.
Which we know is true because even if he got the month wrong, which I guarantee he didn't, it was in August that they were talking about this.
Yeah.
So like he's been trying to have a conversation with you about it at least since August. It's got to be what? November because you're at a Friendsgiving thing? Like this.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear, you don't want to have the conversation.
No.
This is when everyone kind of starts throwing their 2 cents in where Danielle says Kyle's found a loophole, in their marriage clause,
Yeah.
About going out. Andrea says if Kyle didn't go out and get drunk, their marriage would be great. Kenny chimes in about how there should be a balance about, setting an alarm and going home. You also shouldn't have to set an alarm. And not to stick up for Amanda, but like you shouldn't have to set an alarm to go home. You should just be a cognizant adult of like, oh, okay, I'm out. My set is over. I've done the meet and greet. Like I can leave now.
Yeah.
And listen, I set an alarm for everything. So no shade with that. I'm just saying like,
It's very
these 2
specific.
people
Yeah.
are just not meant for each other.
Yeah.
And then Amanda says he's never wanted to come home since the first day they started dating, and that he has had, even since she's moved out, has had all these late nights and he's been shit-faced. And since we've done this hard reset, and Kyle said, your hard reset has consisted of you doing nothing, which is why I think her moving out has freed him, because it's just, when you are living for 2 people in a relationship and you're the one doing all the work, not just the physical labor of, okay, the dishes, the laundry, tidying up.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, I'm the only one trying to figure out how to make this better, and you're just not.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that she didn't try at all, but what we've seen as of late does not seem like someone who's giving it the good team try.
No. And I'm wondering, everyone at this table is chiming in and saying these things. And even Lindsay's like, what she said when Danielle says that. And then when she's like, oh, I'm just trying so hard. And Kyle's like, doing what? You don't do anything. And then Georgina chimes in and says, how do you think that is to hear? She probably thinks that she is doing a lot. And he goes, like, what? Like, and it just made me wonder, like, how does, like, we all know, because we know now, how does no one else at this table know this? Like, did he never tell?
Yes. Look at how he's acting now. He's still protecting her and doing not like what we're seeing now is what he's done. And the way he says it now, when he just like the top pops off, is when he has those, what? Doing what? Or when he snaps at Andrea. Like, dude, f***ing tell me one more time about as a married man. Like, and now, like, and I love that those two had a, like, their moment, and Andrea was cool, and like, Kyle, come on. Like, that, to me, that was my favorite part of this episode.
Yeah.
Was 2 dudes, just 2 friends going at it, and heated and frustrated, both of them understanding why, and then walking away and being fine, and like, it just, I don't know, it was a cool argument between 2 like seemingly real friends.
No,
who
totally.
understood where each other was at the moment.
Yeah,
you know?
and that Andrea seemed like, it's okay.
Yeah, like Andrea wasn't getting offended. He was like, maybe he's right. Like they just both understood. This was wasn't weird. It was just a cool, if there's such as a thing as a cool fight, that was it, a respectable argument between friends.
It was very respectable. I have to, I like this.
Which is weird because he did cuss at him, but whatever.
It was like a lot for Kyle to yell at someone that it seems like who is just like always like so lovely and just trying to be pleasant and supportive.
Totally.
And it just made me wonder, like, has Kyle tried to tell Andrea these things, and Andrea just like, it's murky, like didn't like.
In a
and
weird
is
way,
Kyle frustrated? Like, I have literally tried to tell you this out of everyone,
in a
or
weird
like,
way, it seems like which gives me back to the like, why did Kenny not want to room with Kyle? It seems like the only person
Gavin.
Kyle said anything to is Kenny, or is
Andrea.
is Gavin.
Oh, Gavin.
Because
Oh.
Gavin was the only one that was like, you guys, there's two. We need to see if it. He was the only one that was on Kyle's side.
Well, no,
Everybody
Kenny
else,
was. Kenny-
he kind of wasn't though. He
No.
wasn't not, but he was like.
I felt like he was like, she's not taking any accountability.
I thought Kenny
He
was
said
totally
that,
on.
but he also he was kind of playing both sides, right? Because he also was like, well, if you're gonna go out and get drunk every night,
yeah,
then that's
there's
a pro. Like so,
the balance of the alarm.
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
okay.
right. That was Kenny. So like Kenny was playing both sides. Pretty much everybody was on Amanda's side, and Gavin, which actually now that I'm saying this, I feel like an idiot. Gavin was being Gavin, just the contrarian, being like, actually, guys, you got it. Kyle's right. You know, like he just was saying the
But
exact.
I don't-
never
listen,
mind. Forget everything I just said. Fuck
Gavin
it.
is
Gavin's
a
an
shit
idiot.
stirrer, but in this sense, I don't think he was just trying to be contrarian. Just like
he
when
was
he,
right. Like you
'cause
got to see both. It takes two to tango.
But also, if you look back on that scene that he had with Whitney and Kenny at the bar when they were when they came in, and he said, you know, I think he's used to someone a little bit spicier, and basically called her boring. He also was not wrong there. So
No.
I don't know. I don't know if listen, he definitely is stirring the pot 9 times out of 10. He wants to just throw everything to the wall, see what sticks. I think in certain situations, this dinner table conversation being one of them, I don't think he's solely trying to be contrarian. I actually think he is onto something that Lindsay is not, and the other people that are having this conversation are not.
I wish that was the case, but
Listen.
I don't think so. But I think it's more Kyle just protecting Amanda.
One thing I would just like you to maybe entertain, aside from just like, listen, we can think the worst of Gavin because like he does have like a shit-eating grin on his face half the time when he's pulling this shit out of his ass in the middle of key moments. You know, the moments are all too key. Let's give him that for sure. But there's something about Gavin also that I feel like I've watched him, whether the conversation is low stakes or high stakes, is that he'll just go, that's not what you want, but you wanted this though, right? Like he seems like someone that like very well may very well could just need to get to the resolve now. Like, no, you guys are like, I'm an adult, so I see that things need to go in a process. Like, I'm not going to tell someone you really shouldn't be working on this marriage. You should just cut straight to divorce because that's where you're going to be. Let me save you the next 18 months of your life because that's where this is going. I would never say that. I know this is going nowhere good. There's no way out of this. You're going to end up divorced. But I know that like that, that only isolates me because now I'm not being supportive of whatever my friend wants to do. And also people just need to let it happen. Let it happen. Let work it out. Like let all those things happen to where they all both know without a doubt we're over. Sometimes I think that Gavin maybe doesn't have the relationship experience to understand that yet. Like to understand that like you just have to let things happen. To go, why are you, no, that's not what she said at all. This is what she wants. No, Kenny, you think she's boring. I know that because I've known you for 20 years. This is not the girl I've ever seen you date. You think she's boring. That is inappropriate, Gavin, to say. Maybe wait till Whitney excuses herself to the powder room to say, what are you doing, man? But he doesn't because he just doesn't, he doesn't care to, he just wants everyone to just like, let's all be honest. Let's all say what we're thinking. Because everything he does say is what is true. And it is what everyone's thinking. And it is, you haven't told her about the 14 dates yet? Let's rip off the Band-Aid. I'll do it for you. Hey, let's celebrate. Like it could be that he's just, it's not so.
A dick.
It's a dick move because it's very inconsiderate of people's feelings, but it's not false.
Just because it's not false that means nothing really though.
But
like he's jacking people's lives and stories and their moment to discuss or talk or reveal things about themselves or their lives or their relationship. Like he's jacking all those moments from people. Just because he's being honest?
No.
Do you know much honest shit I could go around saying about people? I would not be popular kid.
Okay, if you're friends with Kyle and you know that this thing has been in the works since a year, like 9 months ago or whatever, and then he got the manager, and then he got like taken down at that dinner table takedown in Summer House. That was the night that like Wes moved over to Amanda's chair and that Kyle ended up getting in a fight with Carl. Gavin probably heard about that. Like that's a big event to happen. You almost fought your best friend in the front yard. Lindsay's there. Lindsay probably came home.
I don't think that was the manager night.
That was. He got a manager. Why? Because he's trying to, and what's his name was sticking up for him. Ben was like, no, because he wants to do less shows. And then Amanda was just like, and then it became a whole thing. And that's when Kyle was like,
I thought Lindsay, I thought the manager thing was like whatever. I don't remember, but I thought Lindsay started that fight and it didn't have anything to do. I think Ben brought up the manager thing, but I think the manager dinner table fight argument, whatever, was a dinner or two before.
You think that
I don't remember. Because I feel like
I thought I knew until now. You're telling me that there could be another option, but since you don't know,
only
let's
because
just
I
go
feel
with
like
my
Lindsay
assumption.
started. Yeah, fine, that's fair.
What if Gavin is just kind of like hearing about this thing and he knows that like Amanda doesn't know? He knows all about this relationship. He's been a witness to it for the last decade. Like this is horse shit. Also, my dude just got 14 gigs over, like, and he's gonna make a quarter of $250,000
in the month of February.
Yeah. And just was like, hasn't told her. She knows parts of it, or she doesn't. She's pretending like she doesn't know, because I think Amanda does know. Like, I don't think Amanda doesn't know that all of this was happening, or maybe she doesn't know that he signed on the dotted line yet, But like, what if he's just your friend that's just like, rip the fucking Band-Aid off, tell everyone. First of all, we should be celebrating tonight. We can't even tell anyone. Like, you just got the biggest job of your life and you can't even tell anyone? That's ridiculous. I'm going to tell everyone right now. It's not yours to tell, but it is. It was an impossible situation. Yeah. Like, she was never going to hear it the right way. Kyle was never going to get to celebrate his big night, and he just sort of said no. And a lot of people can argue, and I would be one of them on half of the days. Catch me on which day, who knows? Mm-hmm. But that was not his thing to tell. But like, if you just believe that like it wasn't going to get told and it should be, you made the decision to do it, you were right that it wasn't ever going to get told in the way that it should, because it was never going to be received well. And then Kyle's whole celebration station would have just been bypassed, and just would have been another like one of those things where, like, I don't know, I feel like Gavin's probably a guy that like celebrates big wins. Like, this is a big win, a big money win, and like, I don't know. I think that he rips the Band-Aids off of situations. Like I said, half the time I will be like, yes, I approve. And the other half I'll be like, that was not your fucking place to do that. And today I think it's great. First of all, it gave us a great second half of the episode. I thought that it gave us a great episode last time because he kind of set that off as well. He kind of set it off with Whitney and Kenny. I don't know if anything ever came of that, but like, I don't know. Like, he's not wrong in any of the things that he brings up.
Remember when Danielle on Summer House, Danielle here too, but like Danielle used to be a Gavin.
Yeah.
Again, that Danielle was that guy.
Yeah.
Where they'd be like, Danielle, go tell Kyle that thing. Go tell so-and-so and so-and-so. And she would walk up and be like, but didn't you do the thing and the deal? And they'd be like, we're not ready to talk about that. And she'd be like, cameras are rolling, bitch. We're talking about it now.
Yeah.
Like that's, so yeah, I guess Gavin's just a Danielle.
Yeah, Danielle.
I never liked Danielle, so I'm not going to like.
No, I know. Listen, because I know that those things are very similar. I just want to say that like female relationships are different. You're not allowed to do that. Like, I think that most of these things, I will just say that I believe that like it's I don't know. Girls are. I don't even want to say that because people will be like, you're generalizing, and I'm generalizing that I think that I'll stop. That's it.
Girls are better.
Well,
they have a rougher time with, like, it's more sensitive. The things are more sensitive.
Well, speaking of Danielle, her baby daddy says, basically breaks up this fight and just says, guys, you got to stop. Like, this is really reminding me of where I was with in my marriage. And if you keep going down this road, there's only one destination, which thank God someone said that because he's completely correct.
Yeah.
Amanda gets up from the table crying. Lindsay goes after her. They're in their room and she's just saying, anytime I say something, I'm just met with such anger and I don't understand it.
You mean every time Kyle has told you something, it's met with anger? Like, when have you ever told Kyle something that was met with anger? Can you imagine a moment where she said something that he was like, oh, I can't.
Yeah,
like,
one time. I want to start a bikini company. And he was like, you don't even know how to tie a bikini. Your own bikinis.
I have to tie all your bikinis.
Yeah, like I'm going to be a DJ. Also, when she was like, I check in with him on everything I do. Yeah, because you're a 6-month-old. You have to. If you don't, you'll ruin your guys' entire life, probably. You'll sell the bank account, the dogs,
sell the
the
bank
house.
account. Can you sell a bank account?
I think so.
But you don't.
like-
I'm an
That's the thing.
entrepreneur.
You don't check in with him. When you decided you were going to a hotel, you didn't check in with him. What you told
after
him.
That's after. I think she's referring to like I've always
Historically.
checked in on him, which is like
see, I thought
because
she was
you're a
saying it-
child and you have to because like your dad demanded, your family demanded it, your mom demanded, your sisters, your siblings, your now husband. You cannot function without checking in because you will ruin an entire life. That is probably a thing that whatever Mr. Batuglia pulled aside and was like, if you're going to take this on, buddy, I need you to know one thing.
So Amanda and Lindsay are up in the room having this conversation. And then we come back downstairs and we see Kyle telling Andrea, I get it that you think that it should be this way. And this is how you would handle things. But a marriage is comprised of A, friendship, B, companionship, and C, intimacy. So lay off me because I've told you that D, none of the above is what my marriage has.
Yeah.
And this is when, they get into the whole cheating thing. Kyle leaves. They get into the fact that Amanda needs to meet him halfway or else this is over. Gavin and Kenny feel, or this is how I read it. Gavin and Kenny feel that she has not done this. Lindsay and Georgina disagree. The guys clearly are right here. And Lindsay must be so pissed that she backed Amanda so hard because Lindsay says Kyle has cheated on her multiple times. We just don't talk about it. And here's the thing. If I don't condone cheating, I don't think that people should be doing it. With that being said, I can't, and maybe I don't know the circumstances. If someone is withholding intimacy for years, I don't know what, to me, that's also an offense against the marriage. Like, you also haven't withheld your vows to be a good partner and to listen to somebody's needs. And again, I'm not defending cheating because you should not cheat, period. But there's always, you shouldn't steal food from a grocery store. But if you're hungry enough and you have no end in sight of getting some money somewhere and you need to eat, like I'm not saying go and steal food from a grocery store, but I understand how it happened. And I think that we have to look at things in a way where we can understand, oh, this is why we got where we are with them. And they don't hang out. They're not friends. There isn't this togetherness that exists in their relationship. And I think to deny sex to someone for multiple years is just as shitty as someone going out and kissing someone else.
Yeah, it's like, it's tough because there's one is just so black and white. It's such a thou shalt not, And actually, I think it is a thou shalt not. Now that I think about it, but it's if you are not looking at all of the ways that you get to that point, then you're an idiot. You're just a sitting duck waiting for, like, life's just going to kick you in the face. Like not even every chance it gets, just every time your time is up. Like, it's just the circle of life. Like, it's just how life will roll for you. And I still, like, listen, hearing it obviously from Danielle and Lindsay, the way that they said it was so in like, I know, like it felt like, at least, I don't know. I don't want to say very real, but I want to say very much so. Like they believe that this certain thing happened, like as if it's not even in question. And I just wish that Kyle would come out and just say what happened, because I think that, and this is kind of the shitty part. Right now, everybody would be more open to forgiving him
Dude,
than they ever
oh my
have
God,
been.
that
Totally.
is so true. If there was ever a time to come clean about cheating on your wife, now's the time.
Because
100%.
we'd be like, well, she was probably mean to you. No, this was in the beginning. Yeah, but once a meanie, always a meanie. Like we're just right now we're in a very
It would be a never
specific
ending
state.
loop. Like, oh, well, you cheated on her, but she never had sex with me. Yeah, but you cheated on her, but she never had sex with me. Well, because you cheated on her. Because you never had sex with me.
Right.
Like you could, it's an unwinnable argument.
Right.
Like, which is like, yeah, just, you guys finally are where you need to be.
Not together.
It's not together, separate. You
Yeah.
guys should have never, ever, 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 ever been together. And shit, listen, that happens. It's a bummer, but it happens.
And our entire relationship was a psyop. And our entire relationship was literally like psychological warfare games of her and we would be like, yeah, it was. We've now seen it. Like they lifted the veil. We've watched it over the past since June, whenever
July.
Summer House started, January.
July.
I just think it's
January on TV.
Yeah.
it's not on any level to exonerate Kyle from the behavior of cheating. And I think it's a particularly cruel thing to ignore someone's needs, whatever they may be. Like if it is I chose you to be my partner for life. Okay.
It's not just sex with Kyle. Kyle needs affirmation. Kyle needs to be listened to.
That's why I say his needs.
He's needier than most men, I think. Like in general, like if there's a certain guy that like you really shouldn't withhold from, it's a guy like Kyle. And I'm not saying you should just be dropping your drawers whenever he demands. I'm saying that it is more than just sex. It is a whole other fucking bag of shit with Kyle.
We talked about it a few weeks ago. It is waking up early and going to the farmer's market and walking the dogs together and all that stuff. Both of these things need to be looked at because these two are the definition of a circular argument to me.
Guys, you're not going to believe this. Another corrupted card. We lost all the comments, but not too much of the end. And I'm real sorry. And one day, maybe it won't happen. I don't know. Okay, sorry. Love you. Bye.